Hello everyone, I know I haven't done a video in a while, so the topic of today's video will be a good place to pick things back up again. So what I'm going to be talking about is the number one key to solving financial problems. And this principle is key in unlocking your financial growth. In fact, if you haven't seen any growth or progress in your finances, it is because you are not using this key principle. So what is this key? Let's get into this right now. So the number one key to solving financial problems is good management. Now, I know that may sound like a dull phrase, but in reality, it is far from dull because it is noticeable more when it is missing than when it is operating effectively and smoothly. But I will admit that unless you happen to be reading a book about it or your business guru has decided to teach you about it, you will probably not think much about good management. But here's why good management is so important, and that is because it will determine the amount of your resources. So if you cannot manage the very little you have right now, what makes you think you'll be able to manage much more? So if you cannot manage the $1,000 that you have right now, what makes you think you will be able to manage $1 million? So this principle of good management in effect protects bad managers from getting access to more resources until they can prove that they can manage the very little they were already given. Because remember this, you will never be trusted with more than you can manage. All growth will be prevented where there is no management. Nothing new will be allowed to develop where there is no management. There will be no expansion where there is no management. Because good management attracts more resources and all growth stops where there is no management. So the next question you should be asking is, well, what is good management? And a very good definition of it comes from this book, and it says, good management, or just management, sometimes referred to as stewardship, is the effective, efficient, correct, and timely use of another person's property and resources for the purpose that it was delegated with a view to producing the expected added value. Or a simpler definition of it, it means to economize, which means to maximize the minimum to get the most out of the least. And that is really what economics is all about when you reduce it down to its simplest definition. You take a little bit and you try to make the most of it. So a good place to start to use this principle of good management is by taking inventory of your resources. Do you have a car? Do you have a house? Do you have a computer? How do you handle what you have in the rooms of your house? How do you handle your money? How do you handle your time? How do you handle your relationships? Do you prize them? Identify all of your idle assets and maybe start to implement some of the shared marketplace strategies that I share with you in my other videos. So if you have a spare space or a vacant property, you can list that as a short-term rental. If you happen to have an extra car, rent it out so you start to add value to something that was just sitting there gathering dust. If you have a truck, that could become a weekend business for you because you could use it to move things for people that don't have a truck. Even the oven that you have got in your own home right now could be utilized to make you some extra money. All you would have to do is get a few ingredients, mix them up, bake some cookies, sell them, and basically what you've got is a factory right out of your own home. But that is good management, because if you're only using your oven maybe once a week or never, that is not good management, because whatever you don't use and you've got, you abuse. Give away anything that you're no longer using to someone that doesn't have those things. Go through your closets and either give away the clothes that you're no longer going to wear, or if you don't want to give it away, you could sell them on one of those resale apps such as Poshmark, OfferUp, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. Even on Amazon, you can sell certain things, certain used things on Amazon, and one of those things are books. So if you have any old college textbooks, and this could be kind of fun because once you start going through all the things that you have in your house, you may realize that some of the things that you bought years ago may have gone up 5 times the original price that you paid for them. So when you start liquidating or selling off your inventory, you are acting like a business. And in doing so, you are developing a management skill. When it comes to your job, how well are you handling your boss's time? How well are you handling your boss's resources? Because you will never be able to be the CEO unless you are able to be the janitor first. Because if you cannot manage the responsibilities of working for somebody else, what makes you think you will be able to manage your own business? So value everything that you possess, and not just your physical resources, but your non-physical ones too. And a good example of a non-physical resource would be your time, because time is so powerful. Whatever you invest your time in, you become. And you have to assess everyone that is asking you of something, including your time. And you have to learn to manage your day by planning it well, or it will get planned and managed by somebody else. You see, time is the currency of life. Everybody's given the same amount of time each day. So you become in life whatever you spend your time buying. So just like money, time can be appreciated, time can be depreciated, time can be abused, time can be stolen, time can be lost, time can be squandered, time can be devalued, and time can be revalued. So the key is to learn to manage your time effectively, because whatever you will become will be determined by how you are spending those 24 hours. Here are some other non-physical resources that you should start to value right now, and those include your skills, character, and your gifts. You see, most people are poor because nobody knows who they are, because they haven't managed their skills, character, and gifts in order to develop or improve them at all. If you learn to manage your skills, character, and gifts, and you develop a vision for your life, that is going to help you identify yourself before people, so people know what to come to you for. So if someone had to think of something that reminded them of you, what would it be? That is a serious question, because if people never think about you, that means you have never made yourself valuable. I am sure that most of you have heard this phrase before: jack of all trades, but a master of none. If people never think about you and you never made yourself valuable, that means you have become a jack of too many trades. So when I say Michael Jordan, what do you think about? When I say Tiger Woods, what do you think about? Here's the question: what do people think about when they call your name? For most of you, the problem may be that they don't think about you at all. So you must learn to manage your skills, character, and gifts and value them so that you become so good in your chosen area that people cannot ignore it. Now that we understand what good management is, well, what happens when we mismanage? And here is the rule: whatever you mismanage, you lose. So if you keep coming late to work, that is mismanagement of time. So you could lose your job. If you keep eating too much fat, of course, you could lose your health. If you do not cultivate your friendships, they can die. And if you do not keep continuously putting in affection and respect into your marriage, it will fall apart. If you're looking for a new job, but in the last job you had, you would come to work late, you would take 2-hour lunch breaks, you would take off at 5 minutes to 5 instead of 5:30, and you would lie when you said you were sick. So could you really manage a new job? Or you may want a new house, but what about the house you already have? Are you keeping it clean? Are you maintaining it? And you may be just renting it, but that is not a reason to not look after it and take care of it. Also, you may want a car, but you can't even keep your bike in good shape. So how can you expect to get something bigger and better so that you can mismanage that as well? Mismanagement can also look like this. You get paid, you take your paycheck, you cash it out. And on your way home, you stop and you buy something to eat. You may notice a sale sign. So you go in, you buy some new clothes, you may put some more money down on a new suit or a new dress. So what did you just do? You didn't manage at all. You simply consumed. So what I'm getting at here is, if you mismanage the little things, you are going to mismanage the big things. Because even if you got $1 million right now, $1 million would be too much for 90% of people, because the very first thing they would do is hop on a jet to take a luxury vacation, buy a fancy car, and before long they would be broke. Worse often before. All we have to do is just look at the statistics of lottery winners. Instead, good management is cultivating that ability to put a portion of your money aside even when the amounts are small. And of course, that is going to take diligence, that is going to take accountability, discipline, honesty, trustworthiness, and maybe just a little bit of faith that everything is gonna work out. And I would like to wrap up this video with this quote. So it goes like this. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy with handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with somebody else's property, who will give you property of your own? I think that is a great quote for thought. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can see you in my other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!